Hey everyone, and happy Thursday afternoon, and welcome to Convos with Cunningham. I'm joined today with Sergeant Clark Parrott.
Thank you.
Who is with the Missouri Highway Patrol, a good friend of the station. Used to doing these kind of interviews, does them all the time.
A little bit, yeah.
So, well, thanks for coming in.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here, Jeff.
We thought it would be an interesting subject today, just to talk about some general driving things with getting warmer outside. It seems like things kind of change a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you guys, if you agree with that, what do you see the most from going from cold weather driving to warmer weather driving?
Well, obviously, we see an uptick in the number of cars that are on the roadway because a lot of people, kind of shelter in place. It's dark at 4:30 in the afternoon, and they get home and they're like, "We're not going back out. It's cold." But now that we've got the time change, it's dark and now it's 7:30 instead of 4:30. We're starting to see that, but we also start seeing cars that break down. Winter takes a toll. The cold, the freezing and that. So, we just encourage people, take your car out right now this week while it's still nice and, not completely hot. Take it to a reputable garage and have them check your hoses, your belts to make sure that that your car survived the winter driving. But then we also start seeing an uptick. People tend to get a little more aggressive driving. It's a little warmer. They got the windows down. And radio up, and they tend to not pay attention to some of the things. So, we just encourage people, obey all the traffic laws, not just the ones you like, but all of them.
What would you say to people who would love to take their car in somewhere to get it checked out and they're broke or they don't feel like they have enough money? Is there any other? I mean, the troopers have knowledge of cars, or they can.
I've done some fuses and this and that, but also with YouTube, that's a wonderful tool now. Pop the hood and grab your hoses and things like that if they're a little spongy or whatever. But also just look for any new leaks. In your driveway or your garage, oil, or if it's green fluid, chances are it's probably antifreeze, or if it's red, it's possibly transmission, power steering, or brakes like that. But again, we just encourage people, first of all, know how your car operates, because if you break down on the side of the road or something happens, it's a whole lot easier to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, "Hey, I need this," as opposed to "I don't know."
Right. So, I just used a YouTube video last week to fix my dryer at my house. At least I hope it's fixed. I better not.
There you go.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you. It seems like troopers. You guys, of course, do it all, but speeders. That's probably a big one for you.
It is. When you look at our fatalities, Jeff, that the two leading causes that are causing our fatal traffic crashes are speeding and distracted driving, and they go back and forth every year. One is number one, and then next year it'll be something, they'll switch the order with it. And it's very frustrating when, even if it was number 5 on the list, when you consider that speeding is the top cause, or one of the top causes that is causing fatal traffic crashes, why do we continue to do it? Why do we continue? And then ultimately, we all, if I'm driving the speed limit and I get made fun of because of, I drive the speed limit because I'm in a patrol truck and I come in here. And where's my credibility if I'm out there driving 85 on the highway and then come in here and ask people to slow down?
Well, let me ask you this. What I know speeding can be 1 mile over, but what do troopers consider speeding? Is it 5 miles over, 10 miles over? I mean, when you say it gets really dangerous, is there a mile per hour over we're talking about, or any?
Well, I mean, and I can give you the canned answer: speed limit's a speed limit. There's not an asterisk that if you're late for a tea time or dinner or anything like that.
I personally wouldn't know anything about stuff like that. I adhere to the speed limit as is required by law.
Absolutely.
But
so, as to what point do you stop or start stopping cars and putting them on the shoulder? That is, we have discretion with that. I know there are some measures out there to increase the speed limit, and at that point, so I've had people say, "Oh, 9, I'm fine; 10, you're mine," type stuff. But when you consider that it's not a matter of the speed going up, 5 miles an hour, at the damage that it does, it quantifies it 4 to 5 times. So just the amount of force that a vehicle has going 70 versus 75, it's exponentially larger at speed. So I guess at the end of the day, Jeff, to answer your question, I don't really have the answer, but when you have worked the crashes that we work and see that speed caused it, that's the issue. and then multiply that with distracted driving, where, we don't get a gold star if we drive from here to Sykeston on our cell phone, speeding and texting and talking and got a laptop going. We don't get gold stars for that. And somebody go, attaboy, you risked your life and everybody else's life so that you could stay in touch and get 5 likes.
I did a story not too long ago about distracted driving because it seems like it's getting worse and worse.
It is.
And it seems like not only just on the highway, but in the city where, at least in my opinion, where you're at a stoplight and it turns green and the person in front of you is not going, inevitably they're on their phone. It's so annoying. Why do you think that is? We're just more glued to our phones today?
I think as a people, we have gotten so in tune to how many likes do I have staying up on Facebook or Instagram, whatever your social media, the KFVS weather app. Looking at that so that we can stay in the know. Well, I pull up at the traffic light, do this, make a grocery list. And I think people are just so enamored with the cell phone and quite frankly addicted to it. We do a youth academy with kids throughout the summer, and the first time I saw it was about 5 years ago, where we don't give them the Wi-Fi password until that night. And Jeff, we had kids physically withdrawing because they couldn't. And once we gave them that Wi-Fi password, it was like watching a heroin addict. You could physically see it manifest. And they relaxed, and we have gotten so, and I don't like to use everybody or everybody's doing it, paint with a broad brush, but this generation is the first generation that knows nothing but the internet.
Yeah,
and cell phones.
No, I have a 16-year-old who just started driving, and it's something we discuss.
It is,
but it's almost to the point where it becomes almost too penal to take their phones away from them because. School, everything is on the phone, although we do.
But somehow you and I made it through school.
Yes, I know.
Without cell phones.
The going out till the streetlights came on generation,
Yeah.
So this is something that I've talked about this for a long time with family members and friends, and I'm talking about seatbelt use. And you still have people that are resistant to using their seatbelts, which I find pretty amazing because it's one of the little things that you can do to make yourself safer. And from a professional standpoint, I've told people this, rarely do we have a story about a fatal accident if we know the cause of the fatal accident, where we don't have a line that says officials say the person was not wearing their seatbelts.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just left Notre Dame High School and had our seatbelt convincer out there, and I was out there for 2 hours doing their entire school. And the kids got to ride on the seatbelt convincer, and I tried to educate them.
And what is that?
It's like a sled type thing that I pull behind my truck. We actually took it inside their cafeteria and set it up. I've had it at SEMO District Fair before, and what it does, it simulates a traffic crash at 5 miles an hour, and it will show you how that seatbelt locks into place and keeps you in there. But what it does is I use it to talk to the kids and say, do you always wear a seatbelt? Yeah, I do. Or someone like, well, sometimes. Well, what do you mean sometimes? Well, if I'm moving my car around the parking lot or going to Chick-fil-A or wherever, I don't put it on. But you think about what could happen between Notre Dame High School and
Chick-fil-A.
A lot can happen. And it's frustrating to see or hear the kids go, well, I don't know why I don't wear it. Well, I don't think about it. Well, does anybody have to tell you to think to breathe? We just do it. It should be part of it. And when you consider that our fatalities this year, we're down 20% this year. And I think part of it is cars are a whole lot safer. I think because what do you do when you see a trooper? Most people slow down, stop whatever they were doing, whatever. So we're out, our overtime operations and things that we're doing, we're trying to be as visible as we can. Because we got a lot of folks from around the world coming to Missouri this year.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that in a minute. But
so
go ahead, sorry.
So back to the seatbelt usage rate, 88% of our population is wearing a seatbelt. 12% are not. Out of that 12% that does not wear a seatbelt, that's where 74% of our fatalities come from.
That's a direct correlation.
12% of our population that does not wear it. 3 out of 4 of those are dying in traffic crashes because they will not wear a seatbelt. And it's very frustrating when you know that traffic crash, one, could have been avoided if we'd stay off our phone and do the speed limit. But now we're in a traffic crash, it's a fatality, and they weren't wearing a seatbelt. And you have to go explain that to a family member. And that's what's really frustrating.
What is the big difference? I mean, for people, I don't want you to get incredibly graphic or anything, but people get thrown out of the vehicle. Is that the main way they get hurt?
Thrown out of the vehicle, or when a vehicle, the number one crash that we work as a rollover. Car run off the right side of the roadway for whatever reason, either the driver did something or didn't do something, overreacts, overcorrects, and puts the car into a critical skid and it starts flipping. Well, without a seatbelt on, imagine having a golf ball in your clothes dryer that you just fixed at the house, that thumpity thump. That is you inside your Mustang going down while it's rolling. Either being ejected or just inside the car, blunt force trauma, your head hitting the roof, the floor, the gear shift, everything else. And that's what's really frustrating is to have to explain that to a family member.
What about, how many, or I shouldn't say how many, but you've worked accidents before where someone has been in that situation, rolling over, wearing a seatbelt, and they've survived?
They've survived. They're sore across their shoulder, but boy, they've got a story to tell. I've worked fatal traffic crashes before because I used to be an accident reconstructionist as well, and did one. Driver was going 36 miles an hour, overturned down on 84 Highway in Caruthersville, and it ejected her and killed her. If she's got that seatbelt on, she's going to school the next day going, holy cow, you're not going to believe what happened to me last night. But here we are, and that's what's really frustrating, is a split-second decision of not to wear a seatbelt changes somebody's life.
The other one that you see sometimes, it's not, I wouldn't say all the time, but I know it's something that I'm sure you would have an opinion of, is kids not in their car seats. I mean, that seems so dangerous. The little kids, and they don't know.
No.
I mean, that's something that can get you pulled over.
Yes. In Missouri, any child under the age of 8 is required to be in an approved booster seat or car seat. Under the age of 4 has to be in a car seat. Booster seat is from 4 feet 9, 80 pounds, 8 years of age. But the thing is these car seats and booster seats now, they're so neat. And you can get a high back booster seat that'll take you up to like 120 pounds. And 10 or 12 years of age, they look like race car seats with the whole shoulder harness and this and that. And what's important about a booster seat or a car seat is it raises the child up off the car seat so that harness does what it's supposed to do, across their shoulders and buckled up and the 5-point to keep them in. And I always go back to this, Jeff, that if a 5-point harness or a car seat or a seatbelt was not important, do you think they would be in NASCAR? Or auto racing,
right?
Autocross, anything of that nature. It's the one thing that they can do to keep you inside that seat. And with a lot of the car seats we see, and it's still going to be cool, because we got some weather coming next week, that people will put the little one in the car seat with a coat, a thick winter coat on, then put it on. Well, the problem is that can create 2 or 3 inches of slack in there. So we encourage people, make sure that your little ones, and if you don't know how to get a car seat installed into your car, whether you've got the car seat owner's manual or your car, read both of them because they work together and it'll tell you how to do it. Give me a call at Troop Headquarters. We'll make an appointment. I'll be more than happy to show you how to install it, and then I'll let you install it for me so that you're covered and you know what you're doing.
So when you do, that's an interesting point that you said about the coats. They should take the coats off, then put them in the car seat, and then what? Put a blanket on them?
Put a blanket over them, because you think about if you had on a thick pair of coveralls, that seatbelt's not going to lock the way it's supposed to do. It's going to be kind of like this. It's going to be sloppy on you, and allow that child, should you be in a crash, the movement.
Let me ask you, since I can, and this is one of my pet peeves, drives me crazy, driving slow in the left lane. Can you pull someone over for going slow, even if they're going the speed limit?
Yes.
Okay, can you explain that? A lot of people don't think you can.
It is, on 55 highway, you have to stay in the right-hand lane unless you're passing. Now, with the passing aspect of it, there's no provision to speed if you're passing. If everybody's doing 70 mile an hour, why are you doing 75? Why are you the only one? The folks that camp out in the left lane, you just can't stay in that left lane and drive from here to Memphis in the left lane. I suppose you could, but at some point.
And why is that? Why is it important? Because in my opinion, if everybody did that, if everybody got over when they're not passing, the world would be a better place. How do you explain to people why that's important?
one first responder is coming up behind you, because what happens is now it starts looking like a NASCAR race where you got 4, 5, 8, 10 cars doing 71, 72 mile an hour. If everybody just stays in the, and does the speed limit, we only need one lane. But, first responders or whatever trying to get by, okay, if you're going to pass somebody, kick it out, pass them, then get back over. It's just one, and if there's an animal, deer run out in front of you, it's nice to have that lane to at least be able to get out of the way.
And it helps the flow of traffic.
It does.
Right?
It does.
If you just camp out in the left-hand lane, especially if the people behind you can't pass,
yes,
it's inconsiderate.
It is. It is.
So,
and, we deal with that a lot, but then we deal with a lot of things, as we've talked about, speeding, distracted, seatbelt, all of these things. So
I did a story, I remember years ago, where I was riding with a trooper in Oklahoma, and he pulled over a guy for what he called unsafe speed, which the guy was in the far left lane going the speed limit, and people were just whizzing by him because the flow of traffic was like, it might have been 70, but the flow of traffic for whatever reason was 80. And he pulls the guy over, I remember, and the guy says, "But I wasn't speeding." And the trooper said, "That's my job. You don't need to worry about keeping people from speeding." Let me ask you your opinion on this. This was a debate I had with someone who, I won't mention their name, but I live with her, and we're married. But we were driving in between Cape and Jackson, and it goes from 45 to 50, or it goes from 40 to 55 if you're coming into Cape. Then you go in the diverging diamond, and then it's 55 until you get into down there.
45.
Yeah, it goes 45. I still consider that a highway. I still consider that you should have to, if you're not passing, stay in the right-hand lane. What do you think about that? This person disagreed with me.
I'm trying to figure out, do I want to make you mad or make her mad?
Well, it's okay.
But I've not met
Look,
Mrs.
I don't
Cunningham
need you
yet.
to make her mad.
Yeah,
I do that.
You do that on your own.
Yeah.
Inside a city, it's a little more because you've got businesses on that side of the road. You've got businesses on that side of the road. But also be mindful if you're just driving from Jackson to Cape and you don't need to be in the left-hand lane, get out of there, because somebody may be coming up behind you to make a left to a business or wherever.
We'll leave it at that. That's
Yeah.
cool. She won't probably even see this, so I won't bring your name into it.
Oh, thank you.
So I had someone, when I was mentioning that you were coming in, and they said, ask them why we seem to see, and you may disagree with this, troopers, highway patrol troopers in the city limits.
And that's a great question. I'm not sure what Cape City or Cape County's numbers are. I know within the Highway Patrol, statewide, we're about 160 officers short. So I think just about every agency is short. But we still have to do the same job and protect the citizens of Missouri, whether it's Cape County, Cape City, or the Highway Patrol. We still have a sworn job to do. It may take 2 or 3 of us from 2 or 3 agencies to come together inside the city limits to work a project or serve a warrant, things like that. And you think about some of the incidents that we've had, either in Syston, Charleston, Cape,
Yes,
the south side.
that makes sense.
So anytime we can raise law enforcement presence, a lot of things stop. And we work with our partners in law enforcement on projects in high crime areas. Whether it's on the interstate, we do saturations with other troops from like St. Louis. We will get together on Interstate 55 and do a saturation. Or we may come in and do saturations inside the city limits of Cape Girardeau. One, just to let people know that we're all working together on this thing, and we each need that, because ultimately, whether it's from the interstate or not, everybody that comes to Cape has to be on the interstate or a highway at some point.
So you guys, I'm talking probably more about like pulling speeders over or something like that. You don't have to stay on the highway. You don't have to patrol the highway.
No, we can go anywhere in the state of Missouri. There's 114 counties plus the city of St. Louis.
And the local police and sheriffs, they welcome your help?
Yeah, I mean, the zones and counties that I've worked at, we all got along well together. All they had to do was call. Sometimes, we would be there to back them up on stuff if they needed it. But then I also look at it from a standpoint, whenever I was working the road, if I'm inside, a city limit, who's out on the big road, keeping you safe, or who's out on that back road, the road that we know the intoxicated drivers are on, who's out there if I'm in the city. So, we help each other out, but at the same time, If Cape City or Cape County calls and says, "Hey, we need help doing a operation," we're going to be there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you alluded to this a minute ago, but so we got the World Cup coming, which is a big deal. In fact,
Huge.
I had Coach Klein came in, the women's soccer coach, SEMO, to talk about it a couple weeks ago, and it's going to be Kansas City.
Yes.
Lots of people are coming in, millions.
Yes.
You guys are, of course, aware of this.
Yes.
What are you guys doing to prepare? What are some of the things that?
We started preparing about 2 years ago as an agency, started doing some training. We have had people in Europe for last summer, and I think the summer before that, watching how the law enforcement works with these soccer crowds. The club level soccer, when you've got Man U and Man City going against each other versus the country, it's a little calmer. We're not expecting some of the hooligan type behavior.
Really?
Like
I would think it would be more crazy.
Well, because these folks are spending
Yes, lots of money.
lots of money, and you've got 3 of the top 8 teams in the world. They're going to base camp in Kansas City. Argentina, the defending champion.
Yeah, that's the first game.
Yeah, and with Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
They are estimated to bring between 200,000 and 400,000 people with them.
I think they're just for the record, versus Algeria, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Algeria is coming.
Yeah.
Then you've got Netherlands
Yeah.
and England are all going to be in the Kansas City metro area. And we have been training on what we're going to do, what our response is going to do.
And what are you going to do? Like, what kind of training?
One of the things that we have, as of today, we think that we are going to be tasked with escorting teams from the airport to their hotel, from the hotel back to Kansas City Stadium. It's no longer going to be called Arrowhead while the World Cup's going on, and then getting them from point A to point B as safe as possible. But then we've also got FanFest going on at the World War I Museum in Kansas City. So there's going to be 25,000 ticketed people a day in there. But then there's going to be watch parties all over Metro Kansas City that are unofficial, or they're going to be at a local city park or things like that. So one of the things that we're going to do is kind of what we do at the SEMO District Fair. If there's a large crowd, we're going to be there. We're going to walk around. One, just to kind of keep everybody, because we want people to come.
Wow, that's never happened.
That's why we can't have nice things.
keep the temperature down. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we want people to come to Kansas City. We want people to come to Missouri and spend all the money they got. But we want them to have fun and do it the right way.
Are you guys talking about how you'd have to deal with people that aren't from the United States?
Yes.
May not speak English?
Yes, we have multiple troopers. I am not one of those that are fluent in different languages. And so we've got them on board. We've got people that are going to be with us, embedded with us to run across that. We're also going to be doing traffic control because it's going to take a lot of moving parts to get Algeria or Argentina from their hotel to Arrowhead and back, because those roads are going to have to be cleared. We're going to just roll through with a convoy type thing. But
is that a safety thing? Are you worried, like, if people know that Argentina's passing through, that they, like someone who hates Argentina might be wanting to come?
Well, it's a safety thing, because we don't want one of those buses to get stuck in traffic, and then all of a sudden it gets surrounded. So we want to keep those things moving.
Yeah, with Lionel Messi too. I mean, he's probably the most famous soccer player in the world.
Yeah, and the second most famous soccer person is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And if it all comes to pass, those two will meet, I believe, July 11th in a quarterfinal match in Kansas City. Argentina, Messi, Ronaldo. Ronaldo and Messi have both, the way I understand it, announced their retirements this year. So you've got, besides me and you, 2 of the biggest names in the world in Kansas City, and they're both retiring.
Yeah.
Going to be big time.
So what would be your what would be like a tip to someone here locally or anywhere that could be hearing this, that's going to be traveling to Kansas City, as someone who travels the roads? What's a tip?
Take a big dose of patience.
Yeah.
Because the closer you get to Kansas City, the roads are going to become more gridlocked if you can. And we're Amtrak, I know, has already added a second line from St. Louis to Kansas City. or a second train because people are
That's not a bad idea.
People are going to spend their money on a hotel in St. Louis, take the train over, do the game, and then come back. But all along that route, we're hearing that Herman, Missouri, where the train goes through, they're sold out.
Yeah, Herman's got a lot of wineries.
Yeah,
too.
but I mean the whole line across because folks can't afford a hotel in Kansas City on game day because they're 4 or 5 figures, but they can get one over in St. Louis. So people are doing it that way, and you know, if you're headed that direction, get as close as you can, but then take an Uber, because the way we understand it, you know, a lot of this is going to be park and ride type stuff. So we just encourage people go have fun, but at the end of the day, do you want to do something silly and end up spending 2 or 3 days in the Platte County or Jackson County jail?
No, you don't.
No,
I'll answer
that's
that.
the easy answer.
I haven't ever done it, but I don't recommend it. So we're kind of running out of time, but I wanted to ask you this just again on a kind of a personal level. Another story that comes to mind that I did a long time ago when I was working in Lawton, Oklahoma, was I did a trooper driving course.
Okay.
And it was on an old runway.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea of how long ago this was, there were Crown Vics, right?
Yeah, best patrol car ever made.
Okay. And they were great.
Yep.
But one trooper had, at the time, the Chevy Caprice with the LS1 engine
Yes.
in it. And it was, you know, back then it was just crazy fast.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember talking to him and him saying they offered him another car, but he didn't want it. And at one point we were doing a cat and mouse thing and the Crown Vics chasing the Caprice, and we get to a straightaway and the Caprice just left us behind. So with that said, and now we're in 2026, what's the coolest patrol car right now in the fleet?
Personally, I think it's my pickup truck.
The truck?
Well,
Yeah,
because
okay.
I've been in a truck and it's a good-looking truck.
Yeah, is it an F-150?
It's an F-150,
Yeah.
Super Crew, aluminum wheels, beautiful
Looks
truck.
cool. Yeah. All right, I'll give you that.
But then the guys that have the Durangos, they like those. Then we've got the Durangos with the Ghost package. You
All blacked out.
So, yeah, but the decals, we came out with, I call it the Casper package, last week, a white Durango with subliminal decals on it. But then
Now, what's so cool about the Durangos? They have a big engine?
I think they just look cool.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's not an Explorer.
Right.
But then if you ask the 6 or 7 guys and let's trip your trigger, we got a couple of lads out there running around in Mustangs.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was wondering.
Mustangs.
Yeah.
And they like them.
Yeah, I bet.
So to me, it's, you know, but then you ask our pilots, they're going to say the
Chopper.
the helicopter and the airplanes, the guys on the motorcycles that are running. They're going to say, I think right now we have such a diverse fleet, and it is so exciting. And the guys that drive the boats, you know, our Marine troopers are going to say, I've got the best patrol car because mine's a boat.
Yeah, that is cool. You've got some cool stuff.
So right now across the board, this is a great time to be a trooper. And if you want to fly a plane, drive a boat, or drive a pickup, we got a job for you. But that's just me. But
Are you guys looking?
Oh, we're always looking.
Yeah.
We're always looking. But I think the best patrol car I ever had was a Crown Vic.
Yeah. So if I'm in the Mustang, the police Mustang, and I have to make an arrest or whatever, can I put them in the back seat?
Well,
you can't
that's
fit
just
anything in the back seat.
We don't put anybody in our back seats.
Oh, okay.
If we make an arrest, you're up front with us.
Oh, I see.
Because whether it's a pickup truck or a Mustang, we get a lot of gear in our back seat. So we want you right up front with us, and if we need to, then we'll call somebody to come help us out.
Gotcha.
With that, it's like arresting, like our motorcycle guys. If they come across something and they've got a warrant or have to arrest somebody, they'll call somebody to transport them for it.
Have you explained to other troopers a description of my car and, like, you know?
No, they are usually describing your Mustang to me, going, "Who is this?"
Yeah, I hope not, but maybe.
Yeah,
anyway.
it is, you know, and we've got a soon-to-be trooper in the studio here with us, and I hope he is soaking not just me and you up, but soaking everything that he has got to do for the last 4, 5, 6 months, because it absolutely is the best career in the world. But then if coming in here every day and working and doing what you do, if that's what gets Jeff Cunningham excited, guess what? You got the best job in the world. And I love that I get to drive a truck. Wish I could drive a Mustang. But you know what? That's where we're at, and I'm grateful that you and I have started doing this. This is our second time doing it, and I'm having fun doing it.
Well, good. I'm glad, and we'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
And thanks for listening or tuning in, everyone. Until next time, I am Jeff Cunningham signing off.